Okay, here we go. It's Monday, July 1st. Let's get our flip and trade on. So I'm getting started a little early. So I'm getting started a little late today. It's 7:20. Usually I start these around 7, but I had too much fun partying hard last night. Root beer floats, popcorn, the way us boomers do it. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. Let's come in here. So we're doing our SPX butterfly trade still. Last week we did a variation. I was calling the tilt, a way to adjust it by tilting the whole thing, and that worked out okay. I think that's something I continue to use. This week I'm going to try a couple of other new methods I've been thinking about doing. So let's take a look at those. So let's go to the option chain. Today's July 1st. We're going to go down to at the money. Here's the at the money. I'm going to do call side. I'm going to say analyze by trade, analyze by butterfly. This is going to be a 15 pointer. So right now the SPX is trading at 54.59. So that'll be 54.60 for us for the middle strike. And then we'll go 15 points above that. So we'll say 75, 60, 75, and then we'll go 15 points below it, which will be 45. So there's our initial butterfly. And we're doing 2 contracts. I'm going to zoom in here. So I'm straining, having a little bit of problems zooming in. Come on, think or swim. Okay, so there is our butterfly. And that's going to be 2 contracts. We've scaled up to 2. Oh, we scaled up to 3 last week, but then we got hit. Oh yeah, because of the whole theta issue, the theta sloth slap. So I'm going to do 2 today on this. But before I do that, I'm going to set up my other trade. So this is a new, kind of a new idea. It's going to be, what should we call these? Steel belted snow tires. These are kind of like the snow tire, but just a little more solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say analyze by trade vertical. On the put side, I'm going to say analyze by trade vertical on the call side. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to have these little wings. So this is going to be called the little wing. Remember Jimi Hendrix, Little Wing? God, I love that song. And that's Sting did a really great version of that I love too. So I think I'm going to officially call this the Little Wing. Although this is a little too little. Let me make sure I got what I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy an extra call at the longs. Call for these. Call there. I'm going to buy one extra long. Buy one extra long there. And then we're going to go 5 points out. So on the put side, I could do a put down there. That's fine. Yeah, so I'll buy a long put there and then a short put. Make a little wing, a little vertical wing. And it'll look like this. I'll do 2 contracts. We wait till we get the other one on. But you'll see that we'll just create like a death zone, a death valley that's very small, and the majority of the whole rest of the plane here is covered or close to being covered. So let's look at the call one. We need to do a 5475, so that's right for that. And we'll do 2 of them. So there's different ways. I've been back testing this. There's different ways we can do this. This is the minimal way, where we still have a loss on the outer wings, but it's not as big of a loss as if we had no wings. So without the wings, we have a profit. We have a potential risk of, or a potential loss amount, total loss of 640-ish on either side. That's the risk out there. If we put these little wings on, the Jimi Hendrixes, we can reduce it down to 200, 160, 200, somewhere quite significantly. And then we just have to worry about this. But what I've found in my back testing and trading of this is that this pink line will stay pretty tight, like a nice tight rope, and it really won't start to droop until end of day or towards the end of day. So that's the plan. Now we could add 3 on either side just by adding another one. Now we have a profit all the way down to 0 and all the way up to the moon if it comes in here. By each one we add, we get a little deeper of a death valley in this area, which again isn't really an issue until later in the day. This thing will start to droop, but it'll stay pretty tight for the majority of the day. But also each one that we add, each outer wing that we add, we lose profit potential here. So let's look at the theta on this. So this is with 3. This isn't too bad. Worst case scenario, if it tanks, crashes, or flies up to the moon, we'll make money, like 100, and we'll make our profit target, which is 100 for a 2 lot, and we can try to make our profit target in here. So the theta right now is about 1,000, and then if we make the wing a little smaller, so we don't have a profit, but we have a capped loss at like about 100 to 150 on each side. The theta is about the same. Well, it's moving, but it's not that much different. So here's watch the theta number. So the theta without it, oh, the theta's jumped up a lot here. Oh, that's between the two. I'm sorry, I've screwed that up. Come on, Dan, wake up. So with 2 and potential small loss on the outer edges, we have a theta of 1,200, let's say, and then if we add 1 on each side, so that it's we have a profit on the outside edges, the theta is just maybe, let's say maybe $100 less, or I mean 100 points less, or bucks, whatever that is. So those are different variations we can do, and we can do variants on that. We could just do 1. That's a really little wing, but it's better than a full loss, and it gives our theta 1,700. It gives us a nice span there to work with. So that's cool. And we could do more too, but each one we add, we can make more profit if it moves hard one way or the other. Like here, we can make up to 350, all the way up to the moon, all the way to 0. We have a deeper canyon, which we're not really concerned about till halfway or later into the day, but our profit tent here has come down significantly. We still have a really good theta though. I just think that's a little overdone, but I'm not sure yet. That's why we're doing these videos. This whole channel is just for me to test ideas like this. So this week I'm going to test these guys, the Lil Wing, the Jimi Hendrix adjustment. So let's start off. Let's do today's. Let's just do we'll try one different one for each day. How's that? And then I can also adjust it with my other adjustments. So let me recenter this sucker. So now the SPX is trading at 54.64. So that's going to put us right here, 64.65, 64.70, 64.40. Oh, that's not, what the heck is that? Come on, Dan. Okay, so that's 15, and then 65, 75, 80. Let's turn these wings off for a second so we can get a clear picture. Okay, so there's our 15-point trade, our 15-point butterfly. So I'm going to get filled on that. I'm going to say create duplicate order, confirm and send. Come over here and see if we got filled or not. Come on, you market makers. So I'm trying to get 320. It's saying 345. Those darn market makers. Let's say 335. Nothing yet. Do I have to cave in again? So let's cave in another time. So now we're trying to get it at, there it went at 340. So that's on at 340, so I'll lock that in. So there's our trade on at 340. And then I'll place these wings. So the wings have changed also, so we need to change the wing to start at 54.50. So I'll have 2 longs at that strike. So this is the lower wing, and then the upper wing will start at 54.80. So we have 2 calls on that long strike, and that gives us the little wing, the Jimi Hendrix. Okay, so let's see here. Do we want to start off with 1? I guess we could just do variance all week. We could do 1 on today to see how it feels. We could do 2. We go to 2 tomorrow. We have a theta of 900, about 900 with 2, and we have a theta of 1269 with 1. Let's start with 2. I mean, 1's pretty. I mean, I think we can start with 2. I mean, we don't need to start with 1. We can get the idea. So let's put the put on first, since we're heading down towards the bottom there of the tent. So we'll try to get filled to this. Let's say, oh, I don't want that. Let's say 1. Let's see if we get 125. Doubt it. Unless those market makers are asleep. Yeah, so they're trying to get 145. I have 125, so I need to adjust this. I need to cave in. Let's say 140. Okay, so we got filling that one at 140. That little wing on the downside. So we'll pop that on 140, and then we'll do the call side. You know, and also we'd have to put them on all at once. I made today just to make the standard baseline test. But you know, if we're getting, so here it is without any wings at all. There's the trade, and if we get threatened to the downside, we could just put 1 on, or even just like we could do that, and just start to scale into these little wings based on the price movement. So if we're getting threatened to the downside, here it is without any wings. You know, the first adjustment could be just a soft little wing, kind of raise it up. And if it continues down, then we can add the second wing and adjust that way based on the price movement. So that's something to keep in mind. Same way with the upside. So the upside is not threatened at all right now. If we had just 1 on, we could ride this for a while. When we come back in, then we can throw this one on if we need it. But I'm going to do like it's just a standard. We're going to start off with them, but just keep that in mind that we don't have to put them all on at once. We can scale into each little wing depending on how and if we need to adjust this thing. So there's the 2 puts. I'm going to do the 2 calls now. So let's see if we can get 110. Got 1. Okay, there we go. So 110 on the calls. And that's our trade. Let me turn that on. So those are trades. You can see how flat we are. We're nice and flat. The potential drawback on this is we'll probably be in this trade a little bit longer because of we've cut down on the theta without any wings at all. We have a theta of, well, we're over to the side right now, but let's 1,000 theta right there, and then we have the wings on. We have a theta of, is that right? Well, that really went down. I guess we're getting close to the outside of the tent. 3. Let's move this to the middle to get an idea of the theta in the middle. So the theta in the middle would be 1773 with the 2 wings versus 2236 with no wings. So without the wings, we pop into profit sooner, but we don't have as much protection. We don't have this nice long slanted bow that we can really ride for a long time, potentially. So there's where we currently are. bouncing around. All right, so that's it. We're off and running. I'll keep an eye on this. I got some other stuff I got to run and go do real quick. I'll come back in like 15 minutes or 15 to 30 minutes, see where we are, see how we're looking, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go. July 1st, off and running. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, here it is, 8 o'clock a.m. And this is just a real quick check-in on our trade, our little wing trade. So from the time we had the last video till now, we did move down into this area here. The SPX moved down, I think about as far as there. And this thing just held up really well. You can see it's really nice and tight. There's no, this valley here isn't any issue right now. And it most likely won't be until the middle to end of day, like maybe around 11 a.m. 10 to 11, you'll start to see a little bit of a droop there. So this is a nice tight rope we can just use and not worry about. And we have this is a nice slope. I mean, I love that. That's the kind of stuff I get excited about. We have a theta of, well, we have a minus theta because we're outside the tent, but we're not in any trouble. The price is moving around, but we're down. We're like a break even probably right now. So this will continue to rise. If we were to stay right here, we would get a bow and potentially be able to get our profit out of this right here. If it comes down here, if it breaches this line for like any period of time, like say 30 minutes, let's say 15 or 30 minutes, it stays on this side of that line, I may put an adjustment on to maybe add another one of these wings, or maybe roll one of these up and just start to favor the downside more, just kind of tilt the whole thing to the downside. But right now, we're just in wait and see mode. Everything looks fine. All right, that's the 8 o'clock update. I'll be back in like 30 minutes to an hour and see where we stand then. Okay, here we go. It's 8:52, July 1st. This is our check-in on our trade. So this is our little wing, our Jimi Hendrix little wing trade. And you can see right now we're back inside the tent. We're up about $50. We're about halfway there. We've been in this trade for coming up on 2 hours now. We got we got in around 7:30, I think, 7:20, 7:30, so 8:30, about an hour and a half, I guess. We're in this thing, and we look great. This thing is this pink line is really sloped nicely compared to, that's with the little wing on it. Without the little wings on it, we would be up $124 now, but we have a total loss on the outside edges of 680. And this sort of gets sort of steep on these edges. Here it is with the little wings. You can see that's a nice difference in the slope. This is nice and not so steep. So I'll continue to watch this, and when we get close to hitting our profit target or an adjustment point or our stop loss, I'll come back on and we'll check it out. All right, see you soon. Okay, here we go. It's 10 a.m. Monday, July 1st. Here's our current trade. This is the new variation called the Jimi Hendrix Little Wing. And you can see we're getting closer to our profit target. Our profit target on this is a 2-contract butterfly, so our profit target is $50 per contract. So it's $100. So we're almost to $100. These wings are keeping it nice and secure, but it's also causing it to take longer to come into profit. But there's an adjustment I can do right now. I mean, we're close to, I've seen it hit $100 a couple times, but I think mostly it's been around $70, $80. But what we could do is we could add another wing, another little wing right here, which I have staged up. And that would look like, it would just kind of flatten it out. We have with that adjustment, we have more. We have some profit target in here. So if it were to shoot up all the way to the moon, we have a guaranteed profit from this point forward, up of $205. You can see we're still nice and tight. Have that nice tight rope across that valley of death right there, and we still are in the hump here, and we still have a theta of 700. Without this, let's see what our theta is without that. Our theta is 800. So there's not much of a change in the theta there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We haven't quite reached our profit target with just the basic trade. So I'm going to put this adjustment on. Just adding another Jimi Hendrix. So let's see if I can get that on at 115. Okay, we got filled at 115. So let me lock that in. Um, 115. So I'll turn that on. So this is our current trade right now. There we go. That looks pretty good. We still have a lot of, we're elevated. We're in the tent and we're elevated, and we have this nice tight rope across this valley of death. We have a profit of $200 if we take off to the upside towards infinity and beyond. On the downside, we do have more risk right here, but you can see that the pink line, we have a lot of room before we even get to below zero. So I'm just gonna let this sit here and work for a while. Our profit target's $100. We're at 70, and just depending on what happens over the next half hour to an hour, I may even try to take this further, see if I can get like 150 out of it. If it looks this stable, I might go for a little bit more. But if not, I'll get the F out. All right, so that's it for this update. I'll check back in about 30 minutes to an hour. See ya. Okay, here we go. It's 10:53, almost 11. This is our quick check-in update on our 0DTE butterfly, the Jimi Hendrix version. So you can see right now we're, well, I've been watching this over the last 10 minutes. It's been up to as high as 150. There's 121 right there. So it's hit our profit target. But I'm going to try to see if I can squeeze a little bit more out of this one, out of this version, because we look really super solid. I mean, we do come down here, but we have this nice leg here. If it takes off to the upside, we can make $205 all the way up. If we come down, we have this hump we have to run through first, so I can get out there with a nice profit of like 180-ish, maybe 200. Right now we're a little over 100. But what I'm going to try with this one, I'm going to add another little wing leg here, another Jimi Hendrix little wing leg, which will give us, come on, Thinkorswim, catch up. Oh, that's a different trade altogether, which will give us this. So now we have a lot more profit if it takes off to the upside, up to 605. And we flattened out. We still have a great theta. And if it comes out here, we have this nice tight rope where we can still make additional profits going up. And I'm not too concerned about the downside at this point. I mean, we're pretty flat with a little bit of a hump here growing because we're getting into the end of day. It's about 11 now. So I'm going to add that right now. And this is just all kind of experimental. I don't know if this is what I would recommend going forward, but we'll find out. Like, that's why I'm going to do this experiment here. So I'm going to say, okay, so we got filled there at, well, what did it get filled at? We got filled at 27? No, 85. We got filled at 85 on that one. So I'm going to lock that in. So there's our current position. We're up about 150, 125 to 150. There's my son, the rock star. Hey, what's up, son?
What are you doing tonight?
Tonight, what is it, Monday? I don't think anything.
You want to go see Pulp Fiction at the Vista?
Yeah. You kidding?
It's at 7. So
We're going to go see Pulp Fiction at the Vista. The Vista's Tarantino's new theater. Now he has 2 movie theaters. My son's taking me. Nice. Why don't you meet us there? If you like, come on down to the Vista in Los Angeles. Come on down to the Vista Theater, the new Tarantino, the new Tarantino movie theater. We're going to watch Pulp Fiction. Okay, so let's get back to this shit. Okay, enough goofing around. Let's get back to this. So this is our current position. So we're elevated. We have about $150 worth of profit in this. Here he comes back. Now what? You going to cancel on me? So we're looking good here. And so I'll just let this sit here for a while and work, ruminate, and I'll check back in like in 15 to 30 minutes and see where we stand. All right. Here we are. It's 11:12, and SPX is making a little move up here. We're outside the tent now. We're still fine, but we're getting into this. You can start to see starting to get the droop now a little bit. So the prudent thing to do would be to take our profit, try to get $100, which is our profit target. It's just showing it right now, 100. But as part of my experiment, I'm going to step out on a limb and don't do what I do. Just do what is it? Do as I say, don't do as I do. I'm going to go kind of directional here. So I'm going to add another one of these legs. And Thinkorswim is just really not helping. They're not keeping up. The lag. So we got fill in that. And then I'll show you what that did. So we got filled at 140. So what that does to our risk graph is, yeah, that's right. There we go. So now we're up to, so now we're more directional as we get into the sea of death here. And I could probably lose this one because it doesn't look like we need that leg. I'm going to wait for a minute though. Let me lock this in at 140. 140? Is that what we got? Yeah. So if we get a nice big move up now, if it takes off to the moon, we get up in here where we have up to 980 bucks profit. So basically, I just want this thing to like melt up now, just take off like a rocket. Come on. And if it doesn't, I don't want to stay on this line over this valley of death, the sea of death here, too long. So if it does continue to hang out in here, I'll have to make a decision like in 5, 10, 15 minutes. Just take what I got. If it comes back into the tent, I'm safe until about the middle. I wouldn't really do anything until the middle. If it gets past this middle and into this part of the butterfly, then I would probably make some sort of adjustment. Either start to release these, because I have to close this whole thing down anyway. So maybe take a couple of those off. Maybe add a couple here to raise it up, or just take our profits, whatever we got. See if we can at least get 100, which was the original profit target. So I'm just going to watch this for a few seconds here. Again, I don't want to hang out here on this high wire, this high wire act for too long, because I think it's just going to continue to droop as we get. So we're at 11:15, so we have like an hour and like an hour and a half left. So we're running out of steam. Now if I wanted to close this, I should probably I'm going to load up the trades I would need to close this out. So that would be these two. Look at Thinkorswim, just so laggy. So we would take those off. We would take, I'm just staging out what I need to do to get out of this trade. I think we have 4 of these now, or do we have 5? We have 5. So that would get us out of the little wings, the Jimi Hendrix adjustment. And then let me find so here is the original butterfly. Where is it? So we'll say analyze opposite trade. Let's see if I got out of just one of these, what that would look like. So I have a total of 2 on, but if I scaled down, go to 1, it'd give us this position where we have a total risk of 280. But then I may be able to turn that into a broken wing butterfly. Let's see what that would look like. I should probably not be playing around here. I should be paying attention. So where's our real position right now? God, this is so annoying. This Thinkorswim just like molasses. It's not, see how it's not updating? I have to hit the scan button and then go back to reload it. So we continue into that valley of death. We're up 150 bucks now. Okay, so let's take a look at if we rolled up. I'm just looking at my different options now. No pun intended. I'm looking at my different options for getting out of this thing. So that's a 480. So we would sell the 480. I'm looking at rolling this up, and so I could turn that final trade into maybe a broken wing butterfly. So I'm going to turn these on. Turn this on. Come on. Turn this on. Okay. So now I have to refresh because Thinkorswim isn't updating. Oh, so they'll give us a trade like that. That's pretty. I like that. I like it a lot. So maybe I'll do that after I see if this move is going to continue or not. So let me make some more room here so I can get into that trade. That'd be cool. And I think I still have room to even make it a tighter broken wing butterfly. So that one's on right now and this one's off. Okay, so here's our current trade. We're right in the middle of the Sally Death. We're going up this ramp. Oh, look at that. We're up $200. Maybe not. We're getting there. So we're right in the right in the center of this Valley of Death on this tightrope. We're doing the high wire act across there. So, and we're directional. So I'm going to get out. Let's just start to scale. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I could play this, and these are all experimental trades. So I'm just kind of experimenting and see. This is definitely, we could stay in this if we thought it was going to keep going up. We can stay in this even if it didn't keep going up for a while. I mean, that thing's not going to droop for a little bit. But I want to get out and put this into that broken wing butterfly and see how that will work out. So the first thing we do is, you know, that's so cheap. I'm not going to sell that out yet. I'm going to get out of those 5. And then I'm going to get out of one of these. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to roll that leg up. I'm going to roll one leg up. And give us that. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So let's do it. These 5 first. I'm going to say create duplicate order. Thinkorswim is going super slow. It's really friggin' annoying. So I'm going to sell those at $1.70. Okay, we got filled on those at 175. Nice, we got better than 170. So I'm going to lock this in at 175. Then I'm going to get rid of this butterfly. Come on, baby. I'm going to sell this butterfly out at 4. So I'm selling just one. I have a total of 2 butterflies on. And I got out of one of them there at 4. So that gives us... Where are you? It's so slow. This gives us, so we got it at 4. Come on. So 180 and 4. I'm just going to double check those prices. 175 and 4. 175 and 4. Oh yeah, so I got 175 here. I cheated. And 4. So that gives us this position right now. And this is, so we have a total risk right now of 245 to the downside. But if we just roll up one of these legs, need to refresh TOS. It'll give us this. And then we have a lot of room to play into the, oh yeah, this will be nice. So I'm going to roll that up. Roll up one of these. I think I got to restart Thinkorswim. It's just so slow. 220. Okay, I got filled that at 220. So this is our current position. This is looking good. So we're up 240. We're up $250 now. Our total risk to the upside is, worst case scenario is we'll make $35. I would hate to lose a lot of the bulk of this profit though. So if it continues to move up, I can roll this leg up again to the next strike and bring this whole wing up. And to the downside, this is beauty. If it crashes to 0, I make up to 535 all the way down there. In the center of the 10, I can make up to 1,000 right there. I have this little sea of death here to worry about, but we're still have that tightrope. That tightrope's still pretty tight. It's not drooping yet. And the worst case scenario here is minus 437. That's the total risk at that point. But I'm not concerned about that right now. What I'm concerned about is getting Thinkorswim to be quicker, move faster, not lag. All right, so we're at 250. That's the current trade. I'm going to watch this for a little bit longer. It's 11:22. Maybe like in 15 to 30 minutes, I'll come back in and see what we got going on. And let me just stage out what that would look like if I rolled that leg up. So I'm going to say analyze trade. I'm going to duplicate that. And then I'm going to say, so we have a 475. So I'm going to sell the 475 and roll it up to the 470. And if I do that, it'll look like that. It's quite nice. So we have a total profit possibility all the way up to the moon of 220. So I would definitely do that, but I'm not going to do it yet because if I wait like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it gives the trade the potential to move in here where we can get up above 300 and more. So I'm just going to watch it. All right, so that's the update for now. I'll be back in like 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, here it is. It's about noon, and I got to get out of here. My wife set up an appointment for me and the joke meister, Connor, my son, to get haircuts. So we're going to take off here. But here's where we're currently at. I'm going to close this trade down right now. But this is a great. This is probably my favorite trade of the year so far. The way how this worked out. This is fabulous. This is a beauty. So some of the things, if I were to stay here for the next hour, I'd probably want to be out of this by 12:30 for sure. The market closes at 1. So at least by half an hour beforehand, I'd want to get out altogether. But some potential tweaks we could make to this, if I wasn't going to get out of it right now, would be we could, let's see, what could we could roll up. We could roll up this leg. Well, let's just take a look at where we're at. So on this trade, from here all the way up to the moon, we're guaranteed to make $35. Currently, we're at about a $400 profit. At the peak, we could make $1,000. There's a little valley of death here, but you can see the pink line. We're way above it. So if there was a quick move up, we would get through that okay. This will continue to droop, though, over the next hour. So I don't want to be in that area. But if it were to shoot up, you can see from here all the way down to 0, we make 535. So some of the things I could do to tweak this, I could roll this trade up. If I thought it was going to come back, SPX was going to. If I thought SPX is going to move back up, I could roll this up. Thank you, Thinkorswim. And create a butterfly like this. So in this case, now we have this the worst case scenario to the upside, which was $35 before this. Now it's $355. So we'll make guaranteed to make $355 if it goes from here all the way up to the moon. We have a little deeper valley of death here, but we're still, the pink line is way above the 0 line still, and that would reduce the profit potential on this downside a little bit, but we can still make $365 all the way down. So that's something we could do. We could also take a look at this. That's if we got rid of those legs. I don't want to get rid of those legs yet. But we could do something like this. Now there, we have a guaranteed profit from here all the way up to the moon of $340. We have like $850 at the point of that. We've reduced this valley of death now, so the worst case scenario is that we lose 160, but you can see we're way above that in the pink line, and we've increased the downside profit potential up to 835. So that's a great looking trade. Let's take a look at if we were to just do those, just do that roll up. Now this is interesting. We could just roll up the lower longs on the butterfly, wind up with a position like this. So in this case,
Worst case scenario is that, well, it's pretty much break even from here all the way up. It's maybe we could squeeze a little bit of profit out of that, like $5 or $10. Then we have this profit tent here. We could make up to 1,000. Here we've totally eliminated the loss, so we could have a break even in this area if it were to land there, or a slight profit. But as of right now, the pink line is still way above it. You can see that if it were to shoot up through here, we'd be over $500 in profit. And then if it were to land anywhere from here to down to zero, we'd have $1,000. So that's kind of cool. Let's see if we were to roll this up to, that's rolling the long up 1. Let's see if we were to roll that up 2. What would that do? Thank you, Thinkorswim. So this is kind of interesting too. So this one we've dipped a little bit below the zero line down here. So we have a potential loss of around $70 if we were to shoot back up. But we've gotten directional to the downside. So if we were directional on this, we thought it would go down the last hour here, we could do something like this, where we could make up to 1440. And let's try one more. Let's go to 54.65. So if we rolled up that leg even further, we'd went into something like this, which is pretty directional to the downside. We could make up to 1,845 up here, all the way down. We have this ledge here where we make 820, and then down here we've increased our potential loss. So we are, this is a risk. This does have risk on it. This version of it, up about 140-ish, 140, 150. So that's just kind of a look at what we could do. I'm not going to do any of those because, again, me and my Jokemeister son, we're going to get haircuts. So I'm just going to totally get out of this trade. So let's do that. So now we're up to, we're up to like $450 of profit, which is great, which is nice, beautiful. Okay, so how am I going to get out of this? To get out of this trade, what I need to do is I need to get rid of these, which are going for 15-cent credit. So if I were to take those off, sell those out, Thinkorswim. Okay, so it seems like it's getting worse. So I would take those out. It would give me this position. So that's what I'll do. I'll be left with this, and then I just have one more trade, which is this unbalanced butterfly, because we've tweaked that leg up. So then if I get out of that, I'll sell that out, and they'll give us our profit of 400 and something, I'm hoping. So let me get out of this real quick. So first we're going to take off these legs right here. And I'm not in a hurry. That's the other nice thing about this. I'm not in a rush. Like, I can take my time. Well, except for I have to leave. But, I mean, like if the market was moving around real quick. The way that this trade is constructed right now, we have plenty of padding and room. So let's see if we get filled in this. There it is working. I'm asking a 20-cent credit. It's showing 15. So I don't think I'm going to get 20. Maybe. Probably not. So I'll just go for 15. 15 on that. Come on, guys. Give me 15. I've noticed that it doesn't, that theta issue that I was seeing last week, that, oh, come on. Well, before I say that probably just jinxed it. It seemed to be gone today, like it was back to normal. But watch, maybe not. Let's see, this will tell us. Okay, so we got those at 10. That's not great. So let's take those off at 10. Okay. Now let's see where we are. So now we just have the butterfly on, the unbalanced butterfly by itself. We're right here. What was that? Oh, it's a totally different trade. Ignore that. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Okay, so this is, it could be moving back up, so I'm going to get the heck out of this right now. Now I'm in a hurry. I want to try to get above 400 on this. Come on, guys. Let's see if I can get 400 on that. I'm asking, I'm trying to get 840. Oh yeah, we got 840. So that should do it. That should close it down. Let me see what we got filled at. I mean, let's see how the final, now that the dust has settled. So it was at 840. We don't need that anymore. We can turn that on. We don't need this one anymore. Get rid of that. So here's our trade. Let's see where we wound up. 395. Come on. I wanted to get 400. $5 short, but still that's like 3 times, well, it's almost 4 times our initial profit target of 100. So this was a great one. This is how it's supposed to be every day. And let me just go back and look at this last. So here's the last position we had on. So in this setup, if it took off to the upside, the worst case scenario is that we make 55 bucks. Again, this trade is closed. I'm just kind of looking at where it would be if we left that last butterfly on. We can get up to like 450-ish profit in the center. The peak has $1,000 profit potential. Then we have this downside risk, but we have this ramp up. So if we were to move down, we'd be making money up to here, which would give me time to get out at a good profit. But this is where we got out. We sold that for 840. And so we wound up with 395. So let's pull the Excel sheet real quick. Okay. So here's where we are. This is, let me just copy and paste this. 1, 2, 3. So this is July 1st. 7, 1. Okay, scaled back up to 2. 15 wide, scaled 2. That's all the same. This was a winner of 395. So let's turn that green. This is blue. Okay, 395. I guess I should say. Keep it consistent. And let me move all these down. These are our totals. So 395 right here. And I didn't update that. My amazing Excel skills are just probably just blowing you away. Like how does he do that? It's awful. Okay, so let's add this up. This is our wins. So for the wins, we have 2,280 now. Total losses are in this column. Come down here and we'll calculate that. Calculate. And then combine together. 1545 is our profit. And real quick, I'm going to back out of this trade. I'm going to see what today's return was on this one. So at the point where we had the most amount of risk on, look at this, Thinkorswim. At the point where we had the most amount of risk on, it was back, it's probably here. No. Wasn't that. This is probably where we had it. So the risk on this is at 1518. So let's use that 1518. So we made $395 divided by the risk of 1518 equals, so we made 26% on this. Not too shabby. Pretty good. All right, that's it for this one. So we're going to continue this week with this Jimi Hendrix Little Wing setup, and maybe try a couple of different variations on it. But this first trade turned out beautifully. So let's continue with this one and see what we can get. And if you'd like to follow along with me on this trade or any of my other trades, either my real live money trades that I do on YouTube every day or my experimental trades, just make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel below. Hit that subscribe button, or as my kids would say, smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to join me on my website. I'll leave a link to my website in the description below. Head on over there, sign up for my free email newsletter. And when you do that, you'll get a welcome email sent to you right away. Just reply back to that welcome email and say, hey, what's up? Just introduce yourself. I'll get back to you and we'll go from there. All right, that's it for this one. See you tomorrow.